after that first half, you look at shooting 63% from the field, 6 of 12 from downtown. What areas did you see this game take a different direction?
Yeah, interesting. Obviously, you saw a game plan of not letting Joel get off early. He had 7 shot attempts at halftime. So strategy, check, good. Then I think you have to look at the shots that were made, whether that was 2 pull-up transition, not transition, but 2 off-the-bounce pull-ups from Tobias. Great shot. You pat him on the back for that. James had 3 at the end of the shot clock. Pat him on the back. Great for that. So overall, adjustments we'll continue to make. I think for us, when I look at the stat sheet, I just look at the shot discrepancy. It's been a problem for us all year. So twofold, the turnovers, we should be turning them over, not us turning the basketball over. But hopefully they'll be calling travel and 3 seconds on the big fella next game, so I'll look forward to that. And then for us, we got to shoot threes. And so that comes with getting the rebound. So we had some initial stops. They got offensive rebounds. Some of them long bounces, part of basketball. Some of them where we got to hit somebody.
About the rebounding battle earlier, about it being a main point of emphasis. When you look at how they're able to get the offensive glass and get those 21-second chance points, how did you see them able to capitalize off of that?
It is definitely multiple effort. This time of the year, you have to have multiple efforts. And so it goes from your traditional spacing on the defensive end because you trap Embiid. Now you're rotating. Now you need another effort to stop the penetration, then go after the rebound. So it is just given multiple efforts. We just got to get that in our brain that's what it's going to take in this series. It's not going to be traditional. We got to mix things up, take some risks, and we did that tonight.
Jacque, going off that, I mean, they came into the game, I think, the top 3-point shooting team in the league after the All-Star break. So, assuming you knew you're going to double Joel, there's probably be some looks for them that you were prepared to live with. I guess how many of the 3-point shooting, their 3-point shooting in general, was what you expected, slant towards slant, and the other being, miscommunication and giving them some of those open looks?
No, I think overall, if you take away, I mean, it'd be interesting to watch the game again, but when you take away the ones made off the offensive rebounds, those, if we take care of the offensive rebound, those you can, take out of the equation. PJ made a corner 3, then he missed a corner 3. That's part of the game. Then you take ones Tobias off the bounce 3. He made it with a contest over Spencer. The James 29-footer, then one off the bounce with 3 seconds on the clock. That's just part of basketball. You pat him on the back and say, good shot. So we have to be disciplined enough that the shots that we want to give up because of game plan-wise, those are okay. But the extra effort, you got to make this play, somehow you got to come up with the basketball. We need this possession. Those are the ones that hurt and have momentum.
For Paul Reed to come in and have the impact that he did, just what did you see that allowed him to kind of just like get away from you guys?
I think that unit, it is James focused, and so maybe our attention in a few possessions was on James. He got a couple offensive rebounds, he got a drop off, and so I think his baskets have to be contested, all of those. But the focus is still going to be on James and that group and the shooters in that group.
Spencer, with some of his alley-oops, like they were a little high. Just what did you see? And do you have to tell him anything, or do you know that he's just going to get himself together?
No, I told him I take the odds of him completing those. I've seen it done before, and I've seen him do it at a high level. So I said to him during one of the timeouts that the odds are in your favor. We're going to connect on a few of these. The good thing is our bigs are getting to the rim. It is available. That's the difference between sometimes scrimmaging during the week and giving your guys off a little time to recover during the week. You just don't get that time in a little bit throughout the course of the week.
Jacque, Mikel obviously had that hot first half. Was that kind of what you expected from him kind of get going? And what did you see differently in the second half with what Philly did to him?
Yeah, I thought that, the game just slowed down the second half a little bit, and that was the biggest difference. For us, we have to keep this thing fast-paced, and it starts with stops. I thought he had a great first half for us, setting the tone, really getting to his spots, showed an array of shots. It's on me to continue to get the ball to him and also continue to have pace where they're not bogging him down and holding him and grabbing him and letting him not play with freedom of movement.
And then the second end with Embiid, obviously you mentioned the strategy you guys had doubling him. Was it just a matter of him getting those looks in the second half that got him going, or what changed with your strategy, I guess, in your mind?
Well, that's the discipline, the consistency that you're going to need for 4 quarters. And so for us, we were able to be on time with some of our traps at the beginning of the game. We still got to be on time in the third and the fourth quarter. What he did do is reestablish himself, whether it was trying to repost or reestablish at the top of the key once he gave it up. Those are the ones we need to take away from it and make it tougher for him to catch. So everything has to be challenged for him. There's nothing that we want to allow to be easy for especially those two Yeah, it's just when we go lineups, having Joe, Seth, Day'Ron Sharp in at the same time. We tried some zone. We also have to be in a position where we can rebound with that group. So it was really just mixing and matching, getting Mikal, CJ, Spencer in there with one of those so that we're not loaded too heavy with those three at the same time.
Do you think it was nervousness or fatigue for the missed shots and the turnovers?
I don't think our guys were nervous at all. I mean, I felt good about going into the game. They showed me throughout the course of the game that we belonged here, so that part of it was really good. We got to get more looks. I don't think we had enough threes to get up, and so a big part of that is you got to shoot the ball. You can't turn it over, and you got to get the rebound. So really pleased with our group in the sense of they're ready to play. We'll make some adjustment, and we'll be ready for game 2.
Given any explanation without reaching in your checkbook as to why Royce got that tee?
Equal opportunity, I think. It was they wanted to give one to one guy, so they gave it to another guy. If they would have called out of bounds first, then we wouldn't have got to that play. That's not going to get me fined, is it, Alex? If it is, I'm giving it to you. Joel was out of bounds on that play anyway. Then we got to the altercation.
The way Mikal is able to get his offense is not like what we saw the first half of the season where you had a lot of ISO sets, but he's able to kind of just come off screens or not even have the ball in his hands and end up with a mid-range look. Are you guys able to do that because of the speed that you want to play at? Is the speed helping facilitate some of the areas of his scoring?
Well, I think it's a few things. At that time, probably I, as a coach, was trying to establish what he could do. Could he play some isolation basketball? Could that be something we can go to at the end of a game? I think in this series with PJ guarding him, PJ is extremely strong, wants to grab, he wants to hold him, so we want to have Mikal play in space and play with freedom. So trying to free him up to play in some space, that's really how he got a bunch of those off the kind of catch and go a little bit.
And quickly following up on that, I mean, PJ is not a guy who's going to score a lot of points, but can you just talk about what type of impact he's going to have on the series?
Yeah, so his is going to be the rebounding piece. And so at the end of the day, some of our traps, the basketball, he ended up being in that dunker spot underneath the rim, and he was able to hurt us a little bit on the glass. So, they'll have the choice of whether they want PJ to shoot that thing, whether they want PJ underneath the bucket. If we can get the rebound, then that's one extra guy underneath the bucket, and we can go to the other end. So it's all going to boil down to us rebounding the basketball and getting stops and running to the other end.
How much of the defensive rebounding issues for you guys do you chalk up to effort, and how much of it was struggling to get on the glass after sort of flying around and rotating off of those double teams?
Yeah, it's kind of what I said. You're not in your traditional spots once you start flying around, right? And so a ball goes off, maybe one guy who had just closed out, now he's got to turn the opposite direction and hit a body on the other side instead of the dude that's right next to him, just because the ball's a shot from the other direction from which he flew. So that combination, but it's going to take that kind of effort. The long rebounds where Niang ends up shooting a three. Somehow, some way, we got to come up with it. That's just what it is. I love it, though. That is just what it is.
Thanks, JB.
You got it.
Yeah, thanks. Cam Johnson,